So you mentioned like you have 20 paying customers and you started the company like a year ago. How have you
Mhm.
gotten initial traction? Especially, I mean, the economy, especially for SaaS, is so hard right now. Like, how have you kind of established the sales motion? Are you doing a bunch of proof of concepts, or how does it kind of work in right now?
So we started we started like officially selling the product last year, but we were in stealth for like over 8 months. In those 8 months, we built with a few key design partners, and we used the what we learned from those design partners to then advertise to other companies. But our focus has been like building this sales motion is very heavy outbound motion. So I'm, I'm focusing on three things, I would say. I mean, I give you a lot of credit because I've read your blogs and I've seen how you are doing things at Lattice. I think first, as the founder, you have to be out there and you have to be talking about what you really passionately believe in and why do you think this is going to change the world and why it is better. The second thing is that my first marketing hire has a very he everybody has this choice. Are you going to go with demand gen? Are you going to go with content? I went with content, right? So we've got some, part-time resource on the demand gen side, but I wanted to build our marketing muscle around content. So now we have a podcast, we have a blog, we've got all these resources, downloadable things. And I think that is really helping us become the people who talk about headcount planning, headcount management, right? And because we are the ones talking about it as much, I think that has organic attraction that is coming. So we do a lot of outbound. That is in my DNA, yeah, because I've done that a lot in all the companies that I've been. But in that outbound, we really, rather than just asking for meetings, we actually push our content. So it's not just because marketing can't send a cold email to people who have never signed up for anything, but I can send them through outreach, right? It's like this. So if they do end up downloading, if they do end up subscribing, then marketing gets to retarget them and send them more information. But we are doing this. So it's predominantly been this content and social push, and you tapping into my network. I sold the first 200 customers at Airbase, so there are a good chance that my some of my early customers are coming from Airbase, and we reach out to them even now. I think next 2030 will also come from there. And then I would say, somebody said this, it was during a SaaSter event some 7-8 years back. And there was a sales leader who came and said, don't stop till everybody knows your name. And that is the motto that outbounding as a team, as a department has to follow, right? It's like we won't stop till everybody knows our name, right? So we want to be in that position when we do send an email or we send a phone call, people pick up and say, "Oh, I've heard of TeamOhana," right? Yes, I've heard of TeamOhana. So I think that's the spirit in which we are trying to build our, I would say, sales capacity and also our sales pipeline.
So much about SaaS company is just education, right? And just helping people get to an outcome. And if you can be the like central educator for your domain, you win,
I
right?
know.
And then eventually they eventually buy, your software to help with that. I'd love to hear from you. Like, why is headcount planning so important? Why did you build a whole company around headcount planning?
So I think, if you want to boil this down very simply, is that people in any company are 80% of your operating expenses. There is no single system today to manage people spend. Right? If you have to just come down to the brass tacks of there is a vendor management software, there is a procurement software, but where are you managing your people? So that was my initial thought process. And then that manifests in many different ways. How do you grow your organization? Where would you hire? How many people would you hire? If you think about like whether it's a small company or large company, organizational growth comes before revenue growth. I have never met, as soon that's what happens, right? As soon as you raise a round of funding, what do? You double your headcount. You say, because I'm going to hire all of these people, I'm going to have more pipeline. I'm going to have better marketing. I'm going to have more features. So if you know that organizational growth comes before revenue growth, we spend a lot of time planning revenue, managing revenue, and then modeling revenue. We don't spend even 10% of that time on actually, if you're a finance person, you're thinking from modeling a headcount budget. How many people are going to be new? How many people will expect raises? What should be our attrition? That will help you allocate capital better. If you're a people leader, then you want to think about organizational growth. Who will these people report into? Which offices are we going to hire in? Which location is best suited for us? And then the third piece of the puzzle is the actual budget owners and the finance leader. Say, I would say the VP of engineering and the VP of sales. They want constant information being fed to them and answer a very simple question. Are we going to meet our hiring goals or not? If you don't meet your hiring goals, all your planned features will not happen. If you don't have the features, what is sales going to sell? If sales can't sell, what are we going to market to, right? So it's all such a chain reaction. So that is why this product is, we have designed from the ground up for collaboration. We have designed from the ground up to bring all of these stakeholders into one system, right? And I feel that companies that nail organizational growth are the companies that are going to be super successful. And you will see what happened. We don't have any free money anymore. So you can't just hire and fire. You have to be very deliberate about organizational growth moving forward. And I think the slowdown, or I don't like to use the R word, or whatever this new paradigm we are in, that is more beneficial to a product like us, because we are not about saving money, or this is about planning, building, growing, right? So I think it's opportunistic to being building headcount management at this time.
Yeah, no, I mean, it seems so timely as everyone's thinking about their biggest expense, which is people. And I think what I love about what you're saying is that, I think headcount planning could seem like a one time a year process, but in reality, it's like this ongoing thing of, am I hitting my hiring goals? Where are we at to the plan? And it's usually all locked. I mean, at Lattice, it was all locked in spreadsheet, and I had my spreadsheet, and Josh, our CFO, had his spreadsheet, and then we're reconciling it back and forth, and then then somebody changes their spreadsheet you don't even know. And so, yeah, it's amazing to hear just like how ongoing of a process it is. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm very, very excited to get Doc big enough that I can use TeamOhana.
Yeah, like, well, we already use Doc, so you're building a really cool product.
Awesome.
So we are already finding a lot of value in that.